friends, thanks for stopping by. Today I have something a little different. I have invited a friend to my channel. This friend is an awesome bread baker. She actually sells bread locally in our area. And outside of bread, you also do cookies.
I do cookies and I do olive oil cakes and cinnamon cakes.
Cinnamon cake. She is responsible for the girth in my thighs. All right, so what are we making today? Tell
Today we are going to make ciabatta bread.
Okay, so, and is this your own recipe?
It is my own recipe.
Okay.
I've worked on it for about 10 years, using different recipes, tweaking it.
Okay.
Yes, so it's a ciabatta bread, and which means slipper in Italian, so it's a flatter bread. It's not, doesn't rise real high.
Okay.
It's a flatter bread.
Okay, and let me tell you, it is marvelous. I've had it several times, and there's so many things you can do with it, even when it goes stale, because she does not like to give out stale bread, but I love stale bread because it makes great croutons. Okay, so what we thought we would just do is Deb's going to walk you through the recipe and just kind of share what she does. Of course, I'm sure this isn't her specialty loaf, is it?
No.
All right, so let's start with what flour are we using?
We are using King Arthur, the bread flour. A lot of recipes call for regular all-purpose flour. I find the bread flour works much better. It gives more structure. The gluten develops a little bit better with the bread flour.
Okay, and is that considered a self-rising flour?
No, this is not a self-rising
so no
flour.
self-rising.
No self-rising. No, you want bread flour. King Arthur is good because they don't have any bromates in it. A lot of the cheaper flour that you buy has a lot of additives.
Okay.
This bread has absolutely no preservatives, no additives, and that's why it goes stale very quickly. Also, that's the downside to it.
But your stale bread is fabulous, so don't put down a good
you
loaf
can
of
still
stale
put
bread.
it in the oven, and you can tweak it.
Okay, now do you have to special order this, or can you find it
No,
in
you
grocery
can find
stores?
this in any grocery store.
Okay, all right. And what the 12.7 is that important on the package?
That is just the protein content.
Okay. All right. So you're going to need a good flour. What else do you need? I'm going to put my hair up. Go ahead. Tell them what else you need.
I use pink Himalayan salt.
Okay.
For the salt, or you can use any sea salt, but I prefer the pink Himalayan salt.
It also has more mineral content, my friends.
Yes.
So, and it's prettier.
And it is pretty, yes.
Okay.
Although you can't see it in the bread.
No, you can't.
I think it is.
But I have to add that. All right.
And then I use 2.5 teaspoons of the active dry yeast, which you just put it in 2 cups of warm water.
Okay. Is the warm water, see now this is where I struggle with bread. I can never get the yeast right because I think my water is either too hot or too cold. So how do you get it perfect?
You have to, it should be 102, 105 degrees.
Okay, and
so
you just know by feel now.
I know by feel.
Okay,
yes.
All right, okay.
One thing you don't want is boiling water, because if you use boiling water, it'll kill the yeast.
Kill it, okay. All right, so we have the yeast, and what do we do now?
You just have to let it settle for about 15 minutes.
Okay, so the yeast is settling for 15 minutes. Now let's go to, let's just back up 1 minute. They also need a scale to weigh?
You need a scale. You don't have to have a scale. The recipe calls for about 4.5 cups of flour.
Okay.
I find it much better to weigh it.
And I think that most people that are professional bakers, they prefer to weigh their ingredients versus having cups.
It's much more accurate.
Okay.
And I weigh this to 1 pound, 2 ounces.
Okay. 1 pound, 2 ounces in the flour.
Yes.
And
2 cups of water.
2 cups of water to the...
To 2 teaspoons.
2 tablespoons?
Teaspoons? No, 2 teaspoons.
Oh, 2 teaspoons. Okay. And then she has a beautiful scale here. Now, what is this for?
I use this afterwards. When I do my baking for markets, I use 11 pounds of flour at a time. So when I have to divide it at the end to make it into loaves, I make a large loaf, which is 2 pounds, and a small loaf, which is 1 pound.
Okay.
So I need to weigh them out.
Okay.
For me, it's easier to weigh them in this.
Okay. Let me ask you something about this dough because I'm a homemade pizza maker. Can this dough be used as pizza dough?
No. It's going to rise too much. No.
It's going to rise too much unless you like big fat pizzas.
Yes. Yeah. I've never tried it. I've never tried it for pizza. Maybe you're onto something.
Have you tried croutons?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
We're going to do those.
Oh,
next.
okay. We're going to do some croutons too. I want to also mention that she is Bagget's bread here locally. And where did that name come from?
The name came from my granddaughter when she first addressed me when she was able to talk.
Okay.
She looked at me and she said, Baggit.
Oh.
And I said to her, oh no, I'm grandma. And she insisted that I was Baggit. We have no idea where it came from, but I'm Baggit. And then one day when she was 3 years old, I brought her into the house and I had bread on the kitchen table and it was lunchtime and I said to her, name is McKenna, I said, McKenna, what would you like for lunch? And she goes, all I want is some of Baggit's bread.
Aww.
So I thought, I said, if I ever have a company, which I wasn't thinking of doing,
Yeah.
I said, that will be the name of it.
Oh, and that's great. That's
So
great.
that's where the name came
That's
from.
excellent. Okay. And through the magic of TV, Baggit has already gotten her yeast all situated.
yeast
You
is
tell them
all
what
ready.
happened there.
It's about a 15-20 minute process. You just leave it in there. You can stir it if you want, but what you're looking for is for it to be milky, all dissolved, and kind of a little bubbly. It doesn't have to be real bubbly.
Okay.
That's all you need.
Okay, so she is going to go on to the next step, which is,
We put the flour in the mixer.
does the flour have to be sifted?
No.
Okay.
No. This
No
is a very
sifting.
easy recipe.
Okay, we love that, Baggit. We love that.
You put your salt in.
Okay, and how much was that again?
2 teaspoons.
2 teaspoons of salt. Okay.
And then I bring it over to the mixer.
Mixer. Okay, hang
Mix
on.
it, mix the salt in a little bit before we add the liquid.
And the liquid is added all at once.
All at once.
Okay.
And if there's a little left, you might want to put a little warm water in there. But not too much.
Okay.
And you just mix it until everything is, all the dry ingredients are wet. And that's it. Okay. We're going to cover it with plastic.
Okay. Tightly?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, you don't want any gaps in there.
Okay.
And you just put it, you can leave it on your counter or put it, sometimes I put it in the laundry room if the dryer's going, somewhere warm.
Okay. Can you put it in the oven with the light on?
I don't.
Okay.
Only because, I don't know, I just don't like to do that.
Okay. With just the light, you feel that
I've
might
never-
melt the plastic?
I don't
That's
think
what I
it,
do.
yeah, I don't think it would.
Okay.
But I don't know, I just never do it. I
Okay.
just leave it on
you
the
listen
counter.
to the bread lady.
Yeah, I just
listen
leave
to
it.
the bread lady, not to me. Okay?
Yeah, I leave it on the counter
okay.
or somewhere like laundry room.
Okay. And for how long?
I would say 2 hours.
2 hours.
You have to wait till it rises and it will look like this.
Okay, so now through the magic of television, we are just going to put this in a warm spot.
It will look like this after 2 hours, maybe an hour and a half. It depends on the temperature in your house.
I would say that's almost tripled in size.
Almost tripled, yes.
Okay.
And you want it bubbly on the top. It should be bubbly. Sometimes you can feel the yeast working. It feels warm.
Oh, okay.
Sometimes it will feel warm.
Okay, let me give them a good shot of this. By bubbles, you mean those air holes?
Yes, the air holes.
Okay. Okay, so our next step is,
This is the messy part.
okay,
It's very sticky,
okay.
but you want to take it, but you'll see where it all
There you go. Turn it so they can see. There you go.
where it all sticks together. And it's very smooth. It's a very smooth dough,
Uh-huh.
but sticky. And you know it's done because it smells very yeasty.
Yeah, it does. I can smell it all the way here.
Yeah.
It smells yeasty, but I know something good is laying
Yes,
right ahead, so
yes.
I don't mind.
And you need a lot of flour on
Okay.
your board.
Okay.
And you just kind of mix it in, not too much, but where it's workable, where it's not
Okay.
sticking to your hands.
Okay. Yeah, this dough, it's very,
It's soft.
yeah, it's very soft
It's
looking.
silky.
yeah.
Now, if you were going to make 2 small, this is 2 pounds.
Okay, so that would equal one of your large.
This is a large
Okay.
loaf.
Okay.
So this is how I measure it.
And it's exact.
It's exact,
2
yes.
pounds, yeah.
And if I wanted
You're
to
a
do
good lady.
a lot of practice. And if you want small loaves, you just take a bench and you just split it in half. I'm
Okay.
going to leave this one whole.
Okay, all right, perfect.
And that's it. It's ready.
That's it.
That's it. It's ready for the oven.
Okay, no more, you don't have to rye?
No, you can if you want, but
Okay.
I usually don't.
Okay.
To me, it looks
Oh.
good.
It's not really that complicated as far
No,
as I'm concerned.
no.
I tell you, my biggest problem when making bread, because I make pizza dough and sometimes I'm a success and sometimes I'm not. But when I'm making bread, the only way I can do it is if I put it in one of those Dutch ovens.
Oh.
But another thing, my problem is really the yeast connection to the flour. I have a really hard time with that. And how did you learn?
Just trial and error.
Yeah, okay.
Trial and error. Read some recipes and took this from this one, this from that one. And
Okay. I noticed that you don't put any oil in your recipe.
no oil, no.
Okay.
No.
Have you in the past and just
No,
didn't like the formula?
No, I just
Okay.
never thought
Because
it
I
was
do see
necessary.
there's a lot, when I go looking for bread recipes, a lot of times they'll add a little oil. Some add sugar.
Yeah, oh no, no.
Yeah.
No. There's only
And let me
4
tell you, this
ingredients
woman
in
knows-
this. Yeah.
And
4
you're not even
ingredients.
Italian. You're not even Italian.
Not one little bit.
Okay, all right, so it's ready for the oven. So now, what is your oven set at?
My oven is set at 475.
And that's important to have your oven.
It's important to have it heated up for at least half an hour ahead of time.
Okay.
Put a baking stone in there. I use a baking steel.
Okay.
There's a company called bakingsteel.com, and I love their steels.
Okay, and what do you like about that over the
I think it gets
stone?
hotter. I think it retains the heat better.
Okay,
I
which
use
gives you a nice crust?
a nice crust.
I'm
And
not just-
especially for pizza. It's so good for pizza.
I'm not really interrupting her, people. I'm just learning here, so I get excited. And I want to ask all the questions that I want to know, that I know you want to know. Okay, so...
So we're going to put this in the oven now.
Okay.
Get it going. My oven is pretty close to where I'm working, so I can pick it up and put it in there.
Okay.
If you're just starting out, I would put it on a pizza peel.
A pizza peel and then slide it off.
Put some flour or
Yeah.
cornmeal on the bottom and slide it.
And pizza peels you can actually get at Williams-Sonoma.
You can get
them
anywhere.
Now, you said to put cornmeal. If you didn't want to put cornmeal underneath, you could just use parchment paper to slide it
No,
off?
I just use flour.
Okay.
I don't
All
even
right.
use cornmeal. I use cornmeal for my pizza crust, but
Okay.
for my bread, I just use flour.
Okay, and so you said your temperature is at 475?
475.
Okay,
Yes.
and your pizza stone has been in there for 30 minutes, so her pizza stone is ready.
It's hot. Yes.
Okay, and you just put this in the oven, you don't use a water bath?
No.
A steam
No.
bath or anything
No.
like that?
No.
Okay,
No.
all right, so we're gonna put this in the oven, and then guess what? The magic of television again, all right? Okay, so through the magic of television, here we are with her finished loaf. So go ahead, what would you like to tell them?
When you take the loaf out of the oven, it's important to put it on a rack so the steam can escape from it. You don't want to put it flat on a surface that might get soggy.
Ah, okay, and you want to maintain a crispy outer crust.
Yes. Now, when you take it out of the oven, the crust will be a little soft. It hardens up after it sets for a couple hours.
Yes, it does, because all of your crust, that's what I love about her bread, is her crust is very, very crispy, but then when you cut into it, you want to cut it?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Okay. We let it cool just slightly so we could. Okay. Now show them what they should be looking for when they have, oh, that looks very nice.
This should have the large holes in it.
Let me really bring it in. So you're looking for the air holes?
Air
or
holes,
Air
yes.
holes?
Yes.
Okay.
That is the sign of a good ciabatta bread.
Ooh.
And you can see the gluten, how it stretched things. It's elastic, kind of translucent in there.
It's yummy.
It's a good
Yummy.
sign.
And then the bottom, her crust is just perfect. Absolutely perfect. So that stone is really nice.
The stone is great.
What's it called? The metal?
Baking steel.
Baking
It's called
steel.
baking steel.
Very nice. And it's got a nice crust.
Yes.
And then as it sits, it gets even crunchy.
It gets
Yes.
crunchier.
Now, what is your favorite way to eat your bread?
I like to dip it in olive oil. I make a blend of olive oil and red pepper and garlic and sea salt. And I've always made that for my kids, and it's like our favorite dipping.
I do many things with her bread. Lou and Bob, her husband, golf together, and sometimes Lou will surprise me. He says, Baggett's bread, and he brings home a couple loaves. And I like to get cheese. There's a cheese spread. You had us over one night.
Yes, yes.
What is that?
Boursin cheese, yes.
That cheese is really good on it. It's a nice spread.
Yes.
Hummus, anything you want.
You can put any. I've got a whole section of hors d'oeuvres that you can do. With
Oh,
this bread.
yeah. And
Yes.
it makes great sandwiches, too.
It does.
Toast.
It does. Toast is great.
With almond butter?
Yes.
Mmm, yum.
Yeah.
Yum, yum, yum. Should we taste it?
We should taste it.
I gotta take out my Invisalign. Hang on a minute. So we're gonna taste it. All right? You gonna taste it with me? You gotta
I'll
taste
taste
your
it
own
with
bread.
Yes, I'll taste it.
All right, let's see. There's nothing like fresh baked bread.
It's great.
You outdid yourself.
Thank you.
I try to call her my queen, my bread queen, and she corrects me. She wants to be the bread biatch. And not in a nice way, I'm saying it.
Somebody has to be.
All right, is there anything else you want to tell?
You know, I think that's it.
Yeah, let us know in the comments what you think of this. Deb actually has an interest in perhaps having her own little YouTube channel with just showing different recipes, not necessarily bread, but she has a black bean soup.
Black bean soup, pizza dough, hors d'oeuvres.
Homemade pasta. You've
homemade pasta. Yes,
here.
yes. I'm gonna do pasta,
and
that's very easy. Ravioli.
It's just time consuming, isn't it?
Not really. It's
Deb
easy.
loves to entertain. And
It's easy.
You're a homebody.
I'm
You'd
a
rather
homebody.
stay home and cook for your family.
Then go out to dinner.
And I would rather her invite me over than go out to dinner.
But not tonight.
Tonight we're going out. We need some red wine after this, right, Deb?
Yes.
Now that's another thing. If you wanted to have, because wine, Deb also knows a lot about wine. If you were having someone come over and you made a fresh loaf of bread and you had some olives and some cheese, what would be a nice wine to pair with this?
Oh,
White, red?
I just prefer red. I'm not a white wine drinker.
A cab?
A cab,
Okay.
Zinfandel, really anything, Syrah,
Okay.
anything.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Anything that's full-bodied.
Okay, so that's it for our session of bread baking today. Deb has many things she would like to share with you. She is in the process of building her YouTube channel. And if we get it built before this video airs, I will have everything down below. So go over, subscribe to her channel. Let her give her some ideas in the comments, my comments here today, what you would love to see. She's got a lot of recipes. She does. All right, my friends, thanks for stopping by. Don't forget to subscribe. Look for Deb's channel. Check out for the link. Let us know below if you enjoyed this video. And if it takes a little while for Deb to get her recipes and her video built, maybe I'll have her back on my channel to do something else. I think we are going to do something else. Aren't we going to do croutons?
Croutons.
We're going to do some croutons, so watch for that video. Until the next time, thanks for stopping by. Don't forget to subscribe. Go out in the world and be happy, healthy, beautiful, and most of all, my friends, lovable. Bisous. I love you guys.
Bye.
Say goodbye.